Okay, happy Friday, everyone. This is a little bit earlier than normal for me. I just decided that after work, I wanted to do like happy hour time journaling session and go live because I have some errands I want to do later this evening, and I know by the time I get home to do my normal like 9 p.m. live, I'll just be too tired and kind of too out of it. So, coming at you from the new apartment. So please excuse any issues with the lighting or all that fun stuff because I still don't really know exactly how it's going to work. Um, I've done zero unpacking of my desk stuff. What you see here is what I traveled with, my Filofax, my traveler's notebook, my little drawer pouch, and the pencil case. And I've just been using this kind of just for work stuff. Um, I've done almost no journaling. The past week went by really fast. I did a lot of unpacking. I had to run errands. I also have been working full time, and I realize now that it would have been smart to maybe take a couple days off in a row when you're moving, because then you can kind of focus. And instead, I would like work all day and then try to do some unpacking and organizing at night, and your brain's just not always like in the mood for that. But it's all good. I'm in a better place than I thought I would be at this point. So let me know what's going on in your life and let me know how your Friday's going. I was just thinking of doing a little bit of journaling in my Traveler's Notebook Weekly, and I prepared and wrote down the different things that I did because I always forget to do that. So we're just going to do a quick live today to kind of get back into the groove since I did miss last week, which it's funny because my internet had an outage last week, so I wouldn't have been able to do a live anyway. I'm just going to open up to today, which today is June 9th. I did kind of set up my desk, and I'm using two desks in an L shape, which should also improve my issues I have with the desk shaking because the tripod I'm using right now is attached to the other desk. So as I'm writing and stuff, it won't shake. So hopefully that'll be an improvement, but we shall see. So I'm just going to take some of my Dollar Tree colored pencils, my Tombow marker to draw with, and just do little cat doodles just to kind of get ourselves into the mood. Yeah. Okay. And I'm using the, it's Tombow, I'm sorry. Tombow Mono Drawing Pen, and this is in the 05. So today, one thing I did, and I usually work backwards just because it's easier to remember what you did most recently. I had a bunch of meetings today, but I had a lunch break time where I was like, okay, well, I should, keep exploring places in my new neighborhood. So I went to a Asian style lunch place, which is just 2 minutes down the road, and it was awesome. They had lunch specials. It was so packed, but the food was amazing. The service was amazing. It was just like all around. You would never think that it's right there in that little strip mall. So we'll definitely be returning there. So I wanted to maybe draw the Chinese lunch, and I did do some decorating a little bit ago because if you can believe I haven't done any decorating, no desk stuff, no decorating stuff. I was kind of saving that for last. I unpacked everything, kind of put it in its place, got all those things done because, as I've mentioned before, I'm actually leaving for 6 weeks. So I moved in and I'm getting settled, and then now I leave for 6 weeks. So I wanted to have everything set up so when I come back at the end of the 6 weeks, I'm not coming back to an apartment with boxes, right? Like I want to be able to come back and not feel too overwhelmed because then I start my new job on August 1st. So we're just gonna do it that way. So anyway, I'm gonna draw my cat having a nice Chinese lunch. And I'm still behind on catching up on your videos. that I'm planning to do tomorrow and Sunday. I had to get a bunch of vaccines and like I had to get a tuberculosis test and all these other things, and so I have to go back to the clinic tomorrow afternoon to have all my tuberculosis testing done. And the reason why I have to have that is because I lived in a high risk country. I swear they just make these requirements kind of arbitrary because they just want people to pay for having to have testing and stuff. So I don't know. But I'm gonna do some fun stuff too, because the thing about moving is it's like you feel like you're constantly doing stuff that's not fun. You feel like you're always unpacking and cleaning and moving stuff, and if you're not doing those things, it feels like you're doing something wrong. So I want to carve out some time this weekend to just do like normal stuff. So we're just gonna draw some food. Remember, I'm not an artist, we're just drawing for fun. And then maybe I'll draw a wall here and like hanging up. I did hang up my diploma. Like just draw him like hanging up the diploma. I just put decorate to. And sorry if you hear noise. I'm also getting used to like just the general noise. I would say it's louder around my building, but inside my apartment it's quieter than my old place. At my old place, you could hear every time someone walked in the hallway and every part of their conversation because it was like a newer building, and you know how newer construction isn't always like the best for sound attenuation. But this building is older and it's all concrete and all that stuff, so it's got a nice like quiet feel to it, which I enjoy. So maybe I'll draw a little scroll. And then actually, last night I did nothing. I read, I just kind of felt like mentally drained. I just enjoyed like having the windows open. Yeah, so I'm just gonna draw my cat being happy, like laying down and just doing nothing. I was literally looking up at like the ceiling fan. You can hear that dog barking probably, so I have a dog above me who barks all the time. And I feel bad because I think it's because her owner's at work. And the dog is probably just like scared. I almost want to be like, introduce myself and be like, hey, when I work from home, she can come hang out in my apartment so she's not so lonely. Hey Melissa, happy Friday. What are you up to today and this weekend? I'm just testing out a live because it's been a while. I'm still getting settled, and I felt like I had to just do a live before I got tired today after work and try to get back in the swing of things. So I did nothing. New place is good. I'm mostly unpacked except for like my desk and stationery. I decided to do that at the absolute last because I need to. First of all, I have a lot of desk stuff, right? But I also not sure how I'm gonna set things up, and I really want to think about it. But I'm leaving, so I'm leaving for 6 weeks and coming back at the end of July. My new job actually starts August 1st. So this gives me time to kind of get settled. I had to go do some HR stuff yesterday on campus, and then I had to go to a health clinic to get some vaccines and testing and all that kind of stuff. So we're getting there slowly but surely. Maybe I'll just draw the window here. Oh, Squibble Design. I don't even know what time it is down there right now. I guess it's like it's early in the morning. You're heading out for the day. Move got off to a rough start, which I'll talk about on this live. That way, if anyone wants to watch it and hear the story about how the moving truck company almost killed me. But it started out rough and then everything went well. So it's kind of like I told myself when it starts off bad, it's only going to get better, right? So everything's nice and cozy, and my new place is just, I don't want to say it's better than my old place, it just feels better, if that makes sense. And I'm still exploring kind of like the area around me. So, and the best part is I have a back patio now because this is more suburban than where I used to live. And I bought a bird feeder, and I love watching the birds come to my patio all day, all different kinds of birds, hearing them fight with each other and chirp and all that kind of stuff. It's been really like relaxing. So it's a different vibe, and I'm excited. Oh, it's Saturday. Oh, you're going to the zoo? That's awesome. That's like the perfect Saturday. Hopefully, we'll get to see some fun animals and they'll all be happy. The National Zoo here actually had to close yesterday because the Canadian wildfires that are causing the air quality issues in the Northeast. The zoo had to close. I think, was my office closed? I think we were still open. It was really bad. So if you're somewhere in the Northeast, please protect yourself and wear a mask or close the windows, use a fan, whatever you have to do. Take showers when you come in from outside because smoke sticks to your clothes and your hair and all that stuff. So just do what you can to be safe. The world around us is literally burning, and I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. Yes, the bird feeder was, I always wanted to have one because I'm into birds, but I didn't live in a place, I lived in an urban environment. It was just not possible. And my patio had two hooks in the ceiling because it's like a covered patio with brick. So I went to the hardware store and I bought a vertical bird feeder that hangs from the ceiling. That way squirrels can't get to it. And filled it up with the bird seed, and it's just been so like relaxing. And they've really all day, like until 7 or 8:30 at night, I have birds. If I'm in the kitchen or in the bathroom and I'm not looking out, I can hear them when they come and they start chirping. And it's also fun to see which birds have different personalities. Like there's cardinal couples that come, like a male and female, and they're really, really cautious. They stay a few feet away. They wait till everyone leaves. Like they're just super, super cautious compared to these other little birds, which I don't even know what they are. They just like fly right up and just take over. Just and they're always like fighting with each other and they just go for it. So it's just, I don't know. It's just a nice way to like reflect on nature, I guess. Yeah, the New York City orange pictures is insane. I have friends in New York City, and I hope they're all okay. They're not doing anything outdoors. They're basically all just staying inside, and it's just, you know, it's not going to go away that fast either. It's probably going to be a while that stuff's going to linger in the air. So luckily, we don't have any of it down here in Tennessee. I do have an air filter, air purifier, whatever you call it, that I had bought during COVID. I haven't had to use it, but I might turn it on if I ever feel the need to. And then I guess my air conditioning has some kind of filter. but you can never be too sure, right? So just do what you can to protect yourself. That's pretty much all you can try now. Oh, and then on Wednesday, I got a new chair delivered. So I went and bought a really nice leather armchair. And they delivered it Wednesday. So I'm going to try to draw that. Oops. Okay, I'm not doing a good job of drawing it, but. And I'm going to draw him wearing a tie. Brian, how's your dog? Did you get your dog? What else did I do on Wednesday? Well, I mean, I worked, right? Have fun at the zoo. Enjoy your whole day and your weekends. Everyone do something fun this weekend, even if it's for only a half hour. How old is she, Brian? I think you told us, is she 1 or 2? If you hear the dog barking right now, it's the person above me in my new place has a small dog. And she pretty much barks all the time. So that's not my dog. I would love to have a dog, but that's not mine you hear. 2. Oh, that's a good age. And you have cats, right? Is she doing okay with your cats? Bye, Squibble Design. Enjoy your day. We'll see you next time. I missed your comment, Melissa. I'm sorry. You finished a project. You made 2 books. They look like real books. That's awesome. Okay, let's talk about the move story. So if anyone wants to watch the replay, they can hear the story. I reserved a moving truck like a month ago because I am a type A control freak. I triple check everything. I just make sure everything's correct, right? I show up to the place an hour and a half before my appointment time because I know things happen and you just want to get there and all that stuff. Got there an hour and a half early, took the metro, walked in, and I just like knew something was wrong. I don't know if anyone else has trust your gut and trust your intuition, but I knew something was wrong, and I just felt like I'm in a weird situation because the guy didn't know what he was doing, and then they quote unquote their computers are down. The guy in front of me didn't have a reservation, but they gave him a truck, and then they charged him for a bunch of stuff he didn't want, and then the guy acted like he couldn't reverse the charge, and then so the customer just like accepted it and just went away. So I think they were like scamming people. So finally, an hour and a half later, which is past my reservation time, and I had movers coming an hour after that, so I was getting kind of nervous. They finally get to me, and then he goes to take me out to the truck. As we open the front door, he runs over to the truck and says, "Oh crap," and looks under the tires. And I was like, uh-oh, like that can't be good. Then he's over there for a little bit. I was getting nervous. He walks back. He's like, oh, okay, never mind. Everything's okay. And I was like, all right. So I got in the truck, got in. The truck was dirty on the inside. Like there was actually trash in there. And I was like, whatever. At this point, I had movers coming in 15 minutes and I was there early, but everyone else, it was just horrible. Started driving. I knew something was wrong. The steering wheel was shaking so bad, I took a video of it. It felt like the tires were like coming off the axles, you know, those joints. I'm not a car person, but it just felt like I felt like I was gonna crash. Like that's how bad it was. So I turned around and I pulled up and I went into the guy and I was like, there's something wrong. There's no way that this truck is normal. Like I don't drive trucks a lot, but I can tell when a moving truck's not normal. He says, oh yeah, the blah, blah, blah is loose and we don't have the proper wrench for it. I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? He's like, let me go look for the wrench and see if I can just fix it myself. Goes to look for the wrench, doesn't have it. I said, well, I have movers coming and I've been here for 2 hours and I reserved this a month ago. And he said, oh, well, we have no other trucks. I said, well, can you call one of the other locations to see if they have an open truck? He tries calling the other locations. None of them are answering the phone. And it's like a Wednesday. So it's not like it's a Sunday afternoon. It's a Wednesday at 11 a.m. They don't answer the phone. He keeps calling. I'm getting super nervous. So I go online on my phone and make a reservation for a different trucking company that I had turned down because it was like $500 more. They had something available. I reserved it, and it was for 2 p.m. Now, while all this is happening, the movers are at my house waiting for me. Like, they're texting me saying, we're here, and I only had them for 2 hours. New truck place, which is Penske, which I highly recommend. Go with Penske if you have to get a moving truck. It said 2 o'clock, but I called them right away, and I said, hey, I'm in a bind. Is there any way you can get me the truck sooner? The guy was like, sure, let me go look. Went out to the lot. They had it right then and there. He's like, well, how soon can you get here? I said, I'm going to Uber there right now. I'll be there in 20 minutes. So while all this is happening, while the budget company, which is bad, I'm never going to run anything from Budget or Avis. I'll be contacting corporate, all that kind of stuff, because they knowingly gave me a truck that was going to break down. And I said, well, have gotten me to Tennessee? And he said, oh no. So I'm like, you knowingly gave me a truck that was I was only going 20 miles an hour and I felt like the wheels were gonna fall off. Long story short, I Ubered over to Penske. They got me the truck in like 5 minutes. They were so helpful and nice. I even got a discount. And the truck was spotlessly clean. Everything was perfect. They showed me how to do all this stuff. And I was on my way. Made it back to my apartment. Paid the movers for an hour even though they didn't work. So they just like had lunch or whatever. They were able to, between me and the two movers, we were able to move everything in like 45 minutes. So I didn't have to pay the movers extra. Oh, and to top it all off, I get back to my apartment building, which is in like an urban area, so you have to reserve loading docks, you have to reserve lanes on the street to be able to park your truck, all that stuff. Again, I did the reservation 3 weeks ago, triple confirmed it. I get there and there's dumpsters all lined up in the space where my truck's supposed to go. I was like, are you kidding me? At that point, I was so over it. I didn't care what anyone had to say. I illegally pulled the truck right up. I like blocked a bunch of stuff and we loaded it up there. And I was like, I dare them to come and say something to me because I reserved this 3 weeks ago and I triple confirmed it. And they had the audacity to store their dumpsters and trash cans right in that. It's a loading dock, right? So loaded it up, everything fit, everything went well, drove down. I was a few hours off schedule. I got to Abingdon, Virginia, like at 10:30 at night when I planned to get there at 8 o'clock. And then I woke up the next day, drove 2 hours to Knoxville. Everything was great, moved in. The laborers that I hired, another moving company, to come and unload the truck, one guy showed up and he said, I hate to tell you, but the other guy walked off the job this morning. He just disappeared after lunch and didn't come back and won't answer his phone. And we just think he just took the money and left. So I only had one guy, even though I paid for two. But it was fine because he was super helpful. We did everything together. It started to rain, but we finished it. Like, it was just one of those things that I couldn't believe all these things were happening. But I kept telling myself it was a rough start, which means everything else is going to turn out okay. But I will be writing a scathing letter to Budget Rent-A-Truck and Budget Corporate. I'll be contacting my state Department of Transportation because they're probably not they're either inspecting these trucks or they're skipping the inspections or something shady was going on because the whole situation felt shady. And it's a reputable place, right? And it's in a reputable neighborhood. I was downtown, like where a bunch of people are. It's not like I went to some shady, like off the beaten path truck rental company, you know? So I will be like requesting that they pay like my fee, the price difference or something. Like I don't want to sue them, but I kind of want to threaten to sue them because they knowingly sold me something and I have video evidence of it. So it was just really scary and yeah, but we made it. All right, let me see your comments. I feel bad. Oh, Katrina's here. You tried to let you know. Good. Oh. Oh, good. You got it. Okay. Whew. I sent all that stuff before I moved, and I have been so bad with emails and stuff and following up, so I feel bad. Okay, Brian has two cats. One is getting there. She's great with cats, though. Oh, I hope there's no cats versus dogs situation. Yeah, so can you believe that move stuff happened? Like, when I say the steering wheel was shaking, I mean, it was like I'm going 25 miles an hour. and it's like rattling so bad. And at first I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's a truck and I'm not used to driving a big truck. But then I was like, no, I knew I drove one of these trucks years ago, when my friend went to law school and we moved up to Boston, and it was not like this. So, oh, and then even better, I stopped off the highway to get gas at the end of the day in the truck, and there was something wrong with the gas, the, what's that word? The thing that opens the gas tank. It was like sealed shut for some reason. And I had to get like a mechanic this is from Love's, which is like a truck stop. I went in and I was like, I'm so sorry, like, does anyone know how to release the whatever lock because it's broken, or I don't know. And they sent someone out and he fixed it for me like right away, and I was so thankful. And he says, oh yeah, sometimes these give you a problem, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, I was already hours behind schedule. Still, like, my heart was beating fast from the whole almost dying thing and now having to follow up with them, which I still have yet to do. Then, like, I was just also tired because I, like, didn't sleep the night before because I was so anxious. And all I wanted to do was get gas and get to my hotel. So, never rent from Budget or Avis. I was so disappointed. I will be, what do I have to do? If I have to tweet them, whatever. But I definitely will spend the money next time and just order right from Penske because they were amazing. And then even when I return the truck here, they were also amazing. So go with Penske. It's worth the money. Oh, you're out of town. Did you get to go anywhere good or do anything fun? Well, I'm glad, Brian, that you have your dog and two cats, and at least I have my birds on the back patio with my bird feeder. So that's kind of like my pets for now. So Dollar Tree colored pencils. I at least set up my desk, but I have not. I literally have 7 or 8 boxes of my desk stuff in the closet that I still need to open and unpack. But I just decided I don't think I'm gonna do that until I come back at the end of July because I don't want to start it and then not be able to finish it. You drove to New Mexico? That's gotta be an interesting drive. I'm sure it's beautiful with all like the nature and. I've never been to New Mexico. Kim's here. Happy Friday, Kim. I just told the story about my move, so if you want to watch the replay later about the whole fiasco, but I'm here. We're all here. It's all good. I might have to sue, so that'll be fun. Or at least threaten to sue. Something like that. Because it also messed me up because now that at the last minute I had to get a new truck, I had to pay to Uber there to the other place, and then I was returning the truck. It was on the other side of town than when I was supposed to return the first truck, which was next to where I was getting my rental car. So it's like I also had to Uber from the new truck drop off to where I already had a rental car reservation. I had to pay for that, all because of their like mistake. When it comes to stuff like that, I triple check things. I ask questions. That's just how I am naturally. So for that to happen, I was just so aggravated. Oh yeah, the weather. I guess this is a good time of year to go down there. I mean, at this point, anywhere that doesn't have horrible smoke in the air is good. I don't know why I just colored a diploma frame green. It's definitely not green. I will say that so far, one of my favorite parts of living here is that everyone is really friendly and there's parking. Like you can go places and you don't have to pay to park in a garage or you don't have to pay to park in a parking lot. I mean, even when I like was looking at this place, I asked like, does it cost money to park? And she kind of just looked at me like, no. Like, okay, well, where I'm coming from, that's like a main question you have to ask. So that's exciting. There's the dog. Yes, Kim, in New York, my friends are in New York City and Queens, and they're just staying inside. I was like, don't be crazy and go jogging or something like that. Because you know there's people that are doing that. Oh, you posted a short? Oh, okay, so confession, I've never posted a short because I'm always intimidated by them. So maybe I need to look into that. Or maybe did you tag me and then it says I don't know if when you tag me do I have to approve it? I'm also bad at YouTube. We're gonna work on that over the next year or so. I feel like I don't always know what I'm doing. Um, Someone tagged me once and I didn't notice it for like 2 months because when you get tagged, it's a different notification. It's like a different tab, and I don't always go into that tab because it doesn't email you. Like it doesn't email you and say you were tagged. It just like exists. I don't know. I need to take a class on like how to improve your YouTube channel. But one thing at a time. We want to unpack first. Yes, I love my new place, Kim. It's different than where I lived before, so it's a nice change. And it's bigger than I thought it would be. Like I have no issue with storing things and finding room, except in the kitchen. The kitchen's smaller. Um, the neighborhood's really nice. I'm close to everything. I had to go to campus yesterday for HR stuff. It only took me 10 minutes to drive there, not even. So my commute will only be 10 minutes, I guess, without traffic because once students come back, because you know school's out right now, I'm sure the traffic will get worse. But for me, it makes me happy that you know I picked a place I don't have to worry about spending an hour, you know, each way to get to and from. I am gonna have a video, an unboxing video from a place that I've wanted to get something from for ages, and there is gonna be a fountain pen in that order. I did not record it yet because I've just been so busy, obviously. And it actually got delivered to my new apartment. I asked them to hold the delivery until they could send it here, and they did. So I'm gonna hopefully record that video over the next few days and edit it and all that fun stuff. So if you're looking forward to a unboxing video, it's one of these places that I've wanted to order from for like a year. And it's like my graduation present to myself for my getting my master's. And he also had a Memorial Day sale, so I wanted to order the stuff over Memorial Day so I could get a discount. You signed up to take Korean? That is so cool. Is it in person or is it online? And did you ever take Korean before? Is the first time? I'm like a language nerd, so I'm super jealous and excited for you because that's going to be awesome. I always say that learning any language in any capacity is not only good for your brain, but it's just all around awesome. It's in person? Okay, that'll be even better because I had taken a Japanese class in 2020. I had signed up for in person, but then when the pandemic hit, they switched to online. And it was great, but the instructor never taught online before. That was her first time having to teach Japanese 101. online, and she really struggled with it. We all felt bad for her because she's not used to, like, she would prompt you to say something and like point to the computer, like she would point to you in the classroom, but we're all on Zoom being like, who are you pointing to? You know, like that kind of thing. So we just felt bad. So I feel like I didn't learn what I could have. But if you're in person, it'll be even better. Yeah, and you'll get to meet people. And if other people are taking a language class, that means you share an interest, right? So no matter who they are, what they do, like they have this interest in learning a language, so you'll kind of like get to bond with them, which is awesome. Okay, so we got a new chair. Oh, we did get, no, I'll save that for my traveler's notebook. I do have a fortune. Normally I like to open my fortunes and journal about them, but we'll hold off on that. And then I need to work on my planning a bit. I don't know if anyone else is kind of in a planner funk. So my issue is I'm gonna be leaving for 6 weeks and traveling. So I need to bring stuff that I can journal with on the road. And then I'm not gonna be able to come back here to my place where I live. So I have to make sure I pack everything I'm gonna wanna have for the next 6 weeks. So I need to condense everything into one planner, so I just at least have a planner with me. I need to I actually need to switch my Avec because, believe it or not, June is gonna end very quickly and we're already gonna be in July, so this only goes to June. So actually, we might have to unpack our traveler's notebook box, so let's make a to-do list. I think when I was packing, I actually labeled the box Traveler's Notebooks because I knew that box I was gonna wanna open first. So we need to unpack TN Weekly. Is it called Avec or is that Hobonichi? You know, the second half of the year, TN Weekly for July start. Because I want to bring that with me. And then I'm going to maybe get some stickers and glue tape so I can do journaling. Because I am going to get to go on a mini vacation in July at the Jersey Shore, so I want to bring stuff to like do at the beach house and, you know, spend some time journaling about it and maybe doing some decorating and all that kind of stuff. So looking forward to that. Yes, on the road kit. Oh, that would make a great video too, but I'd have to really think about that. Someone asked me to do an everyday carry for going to a cafe to journal versus just everyday carry, and I think that's a great idea because when I want to go to a cafe to journal or do I want to go somewhere else to journal, whatever, you know, I kind of have like a set group of things I like to pack and have ready, but it's like I would only bring that stuff out with me if I'm going somewhere else to journal. So it's like a comparison. You use your passport size to New Mexico, go and work on. Oh, did you journal while you were there, or did you kind of like do a little bit? Because I think I asked, so Katie from Katie's Nesting Spot, she went to Louisville, Kentucky on a trip, and her journal spread was awesome. You should go check it out if you don't follow her. But like it was just an all around like interesting mix of ephemera and journaling and photos of like her and her family, and I feel like I can never do it that well during the trip, but then if you don't write while you're on the trip, you kind of forget some things. So I'm trying to find a good balance of maybe it's like every night at the end of the day at the hotel, do you spend 20 minutes in your traveler's notebook and then fill in some decorative stuff when you get home, or do you wait till the very end of the trip on the last day and spend a good 2 hours like doing everything? I don't know. It's kind of hard to find a balance. Let me know if you think finding that balance is also hard. It might just be a thing that only I think about. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna bring the leather zip portfolio from Galen Leather. That's my long form journaling setup. I'm definitely gonna bring that because I feel like when you're so first of all, I'm gonna be dog sitting for 3 weeks and I'm gonna be in someone else's house. So I'm gonna just kind of be like hanging out with the dog and reading a lot and journaling and kind of watching TV and maybe do some cooking. That is one nice thing about kind of leaving your home, is that you don't feel like pressure to clean or organize things, or like I am setting up my new apartment. I'm actually looking forward to just being able to do what's in front of me. So just bring a journal and traveler's notebook, and that's it. Like, and just sit down and have a whole night just dedicated to kind of like back to the basics. Because I think I wrote about it once, about how I think the happiest I ever was when I first moved overseas, and I didn't have anything. I only had two suitcases that I had to like live out of for about 2 months. And I moved into a house which was furnished and all that, but it was very minimal. And all I did was kind of focus on the basics, right? Like, I had one journal and one planner, and that's all I did. I didn't even have a whole I didn't have a whole pencil case of stuff. I just had a few things, and it kind of like focuses on the fundamentals, I guess. So, oh, you did some pre-done pages, okay. And then you have some items and pictures you want to print out to put in it. I hope to make a video on it. Oh, that'll be great. It's like your New Mexico journey. Plus, if it was a road trip, right? I feel like road trips always have an interesting aspects to it, because the things you might see along the road or your impressions might be different. I think travel, when you go on road trips, you're seeing more than if you were flying there, because when you fly there, you just kind of get to the destination. You don't see what's in between. So that'd be kind of cool. So I'm gonna take the picture of the journal at different places. Oh yes, that's a smart idea. Now, do you use like one of those paper printers? Um, I have an Instax camera, but I always thought about trying one of those little handheld paper printers like Job uses. Because yes, you can order stuff to print at like your local CVS or whatever, but if you had one of those instant printers, I feel like while I'm journaling, I printed it real quickly, I maybe would do more because it's like in the moment. I don't know if that makes sense. So, Kim, you'll take pictures of what you want to remember, have a piece of ephemera, and make a note on it. Ooh, making a note on it. Okay, that's a good idea. Because sometimes I forget. I'm like, why did I save this chopstick wrapper from some restaurant in LA? Like, oh, that's right, because I had, I went here with this person and had a great time, blah, blah, blah. Also, I'm obsessed with like rest stops. When I was driving here, there's like a Davy Crockett rest stop, and there's like a giant statue of Davy Crockett. And the store inside had the most random things, and it's just like fun to go into those places and just like see what people are doing, and yeah. You have the Canon Ivy, but sometimes you draw it. Oh, drawing it's good too. I don't think I've ever seen one of those handheld printers in person, which makes me kind of like, I don't know, with the price of ink cartridge and all that kind of stuff, it might just be cheaper just to print stuff out at CVS. Oh, signs of the state that you're in, that's a good idea, okay. Yeah. You get a paper release insert and get stickers from everywhere. Oh, okay, what kind of stickers? I guess like, you mean the ones that they sell that are like die cut at like tourist places? I do have a little sticker, and now that I'm talking about it, I totally don't know where it is. But there's a coffee place here that I've already been to twice, obviously. And it's like a drive-through coffee place, which I love being able to go through drive-throughs because that's like not a thing where I lived before. Um, and every time you order a coffee, they give you this little smiley face sticker that's on the coffee cup. And I know I saved one somewhere, but I probably accidentally already threw it out. So I remember when I first got the coffee cup and like she handed it to me, my first thought was like, oh, I have to save this little sticker for my traveler's notebook. Does anyone else have that mentality when you're out somewhere? Like, I'll go to a place with like, I think me and my sister were out somewhere one time, and we sat down, and it was like, they had like paper menus, or I forget what it was. Like, they give you something, and my first thing I said was like, oh, I'm gonna save that for my traveler's notebook. Like, I just have this mentality that I'm always on the lookout for ephemera that's obviously free and unique and an easy thing to kind of just like put into your notebook and be able to write about it. CVS make a collage of your pictures in a different program, then order up those. Oh, the right side. Okay, that would be the size of the traveler's notebook. See, yeah, what I did one time, I don't know if I have it in here, I don't think so. When I went to Paper Seahorse, I just printed a bunch of pictures from CVS because I had like, it was like a promotion where it was, you know, like $2 off. So the pictures ended up being like, I got a handful of pictures for like 30 cents or something really, really inexpensive. So I didn't feel bad. Like, this is perfect. I can cut up these pictures and use what I want and throw away what I don't want. And it was only like 30 cents. So, but then of course, you know, that's how they get you. And then you start ordering more and then, yeah. Oh, that's a smart thing to ask if they have stickers. I feel like a lot of coffee shops definitely have stickers or like bumper sticker type things. Um, Side note, I went to a coffee shop here last night that someone recommended to me, and they had indoor like hammocks that you sit in. It was like a weird it was like this giant thing and there was like these hammocks, but you don't lay in them, you sit in them. They're like dangling down from the ceiling and you like sit on these hammocks. I just thought it was so cool. That dog is still barking up there. I hope she's okay. So, okay, well, we did a little bit of drawing. I do need to, I really gotta work on my planner. I know Amber from Amber's Journey, I think I saw she posted something today about, I forget, but I know it's on my to watch list. I just need some, I think I am gonna be using this planner, the Filofax insert that I got off Amazon, because with a lot of things going on and I have to go for my vaccines, I have to go for work stuff, I have to schedule my move out inspection, I have to drive the dog sitting stuff. Like, I need to be writing all this stuff down and I haven't been doing that. And that's when you start to get really dangerous because you might forget something or whatever. So even if this isn't the planner, my ideal planner setup, it's what I have unpacked right now. And I kind of just have to get over it and just use it. And I'm already planning on, so if I'm going to visit my family in Philly, I'm definitely going to try to do a quick side trip to Omoizaka because where I live now, I don't think I'm really going to be around any stationery stores. So I got to get my fill in while I can. Also, the closest H Mart is in Atlanta, so there are a lot of like Asian markets here, and I think there's a Turkish one and a couple Middle Eastern places, but they're just a lot smaller. I was really spoiled for the past few years and lived in places that have giant H Marts and 99 Ranch, which is a Taiwanese supermarket. We have Lotte Plaza, which is like a Korean market that has like half of it is Indian food. All the Korean bakeries and coffee shops and all that stuff. I'm gonna not really get to have those things as much down here, so gotta take advantage of it when we can, right? What else? So I did jot down different things that I did. Bird feeder. I did get my library card. That's a big deal for me because I'm a reader, so the first day I got something in the mail that could prove my residency, I went to the library to get my library card, and they were super helpful. I'm also not used to driving everywhere. I didn't realize this, but people were telling me that like this area wasn't supposed to be like super populated, so the infrastructure is kind of lacking in some ways. And I noticed that the second day here, when I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, maybe I'll walk there later. And then as I'm driving along, I realized that road has no sidewalks on it. And coming from a place that's fully walkable and there's bike lanes everywhere and all that kind of stuff, I just kind of assumed other big cities would be that way, or cities. So I'm gonna have to just basically drive more here than I did at home. But that's just part of it. Yeah, I didn't get my driver's license yet because I can't because I don't have. So my car is back home. I left my car up there, and I'm going to get it this week or next week when I move out. It's parked in the garage. So once I get my car and I come back here, then I can go get my driver's license and license plate and all that fun stuff. But I was like, I have to get a library card because then I can check out books before I go dog sitting. The library was very nice, but it was they don't have like an app, and they don't have a lot of the other stuff that I kind of got used to. Like my library, there's like a whole app, for Android or iPhone, and you can do all these like cool things, and they have pickup. First of all, we have self checkout, but down here we don't have the self checkout. We have like the automated pickup thing. We have all that kind of stuff, but down here it's kind of just old school where it's just like a regular, the librarian will check your book out for you. So that'll take some getting used to as well. So I'm gonna just save this, and maybe when I get some more mojo, I can go back and kind of do some journaling. But we really need to make sure I unpack that July start date. Now, did anyone get any Avex that have a July start date, whether it's Hobonichi or because I know I got the email from Hobonichi that the July start date was released, or did anyone else get anything from Travelers Company? I've been a little bit out of the loop just because I've been so preoccupied that I haven't read all the emails very carefully, so I don't always know what's happening. And just like how I still have to catch up on a lot of your videos, so I'm not sure like if I missed anything super exciting. You finished reading Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires. It was good. That sounds interesting. Wait, what makes it Southern? Is it like does it take place in the South? Or is it that's just the name of the book club? I got a Shirley Jackson book out from the library. Do I have it in front of me? No, I do not. But I might try to go there tomorrow to get a couple more books because I don't want to check out books from my old library because then I'd have to drive through and drop them off when I'm driving back to Tennessee from New Jersey, and I just like want to avoid, because like with my luck I'll get all the way back here and be like, oh, I have a whole bag of books in the car that I forgot to return. I have to like ship them back up there, and I want to avoid that. So I wanted to just get stuff out from my new library. Or I do have a list of Barnes & Noble books. How I pick books is I literally just walk into a bookstore or library and just pick up a book, read the first page, read the back cover, whatever, and just decide. That's how I discover a lot of things that I read. I don't always know anything about the author. I don't know if it's something popular. It's like usually something just kind of different and obscure, which is why I like it. So, oh, North Carolina. Okay, I'm actually not too far from North Carolina, which I went to last August when I did my road trip. I'm less than 2 hours from Asheville, which is exciting because I definitely plan on doing kind of like a day trip to Asheville sometime in the next few months. Also, I'll have to do a day trip, well, not a day trip, but I'll also have to go to Dollywood because I live about 30 minutes from Dollywood now. So I'm excited to do those kind of fun things now that I've moved. And plus, I just like exploring in general. I want to go to Chattanooga. Of course, at some point, I'm going to have to go to Nashville because everyone loves Nashville. I've heard great things about Lexington, Kentucky, so I want to do a drive up to Kentucky sometime. That, I think, is something I could probably do in a day. And I am 3.5 hours from Atlanta, which I saw that Kinokuniya is opening a store in Atlanta. So y'all know, after they open, at some point I'm taking a trip to Atlanta, definitely in the off-peak season or whatever, if I have random weekdays off or something. And I'm going to do an Atlanta stationary crawl at some magnitude, because 3.5 hour drive is not too bad. I could go on a Saturday morning and come back Sunday night. If there's a Kinokuniya, that'd be awesome. Okay, so this book is about a group of women are in a book club and weird things are happening. It's kind of realistic vampire, if that makes sense. It has a funny title, but it's a serious book. See that, but that's so interesting because it's like a book, it's like when something's happening inside something else. So you're reading about people who are reading and stuff's happening to them. You know what I'm talking about? There's like that. It's kind of like a funhouse mirror where there's like 100 of you when you look in the mirror. That's really interesting. Yeah, plus I haven't explored the South in general. I go to Alabama for work, I've gone to Tampa, Florida, but I haven't really, and I did North Carolina last summer, so it's kind of cool to be able to explore different places. And I'm the kind of person where I don't need to go to anywhere like super touristy. I'll just bring my traveler's notebook, go to a coffee shop in some small town, walk around, go to a park or something, and I have fun. I don't need it to be like a top destination with 5-star restaurants and all these different activities. I just like to just do my thing. Yeah, see, it's like now you're going to be thinking about stuff that could be happening to you. Do you write anything, Kim? Like, do you do any kind of writing, or are you a reader? I do have some washi tapes. Oh, and we need to record our unboxing video. That's another thing I gotta do this weekend. Which will have a fountain pen in it, which I think I'm gonna wanna bring on my summer trip. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably get posted by the end of the weekend. I'm really excited about some of the items because the store sells less commonly known items. Like there were brands on there that I've never heard, I've never seen it, unless only from reading the store's blog and going on their website. So I was super excited for that. Yeah, I'm more of a reader. Like I'm great at writing like nonfiction, academic writing, and professional writing, and technical writing. I do all that stuff for my job. But for like creative writing, I just can't. When sometimes I get a good idea and I'll write it, but like I couldn't do that full time. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't write a novel because after the first few pages, I'd probably like be like, okay, what do I say next? But there are people who can do that, and I think that's awesome. But I could do like a short story or something like that, but a whole novel or a whole series, I don't know how people do that. Okay, record unboxing video. I did finish reading this book called Night Shift by Kiari Laudner, and I talked about it on the last live. The ending was not, it wasn't the direction I was hoping it would go, and the ending was like kind of just depressing, and I don't know. So I would recommend it, but not like, actually let's decide how many stars we want to give it out of 5 stars. I'm still going to give it 4 stars because I think the topic she explored and the time that it takes place, and that she's from South Africa, but she moved to London to kind of get away from her mom, and then she gets a group of friends, become obsessed with one of her friends. They go through all these interesting things that happen to them at nightclubs, and both difficult and fun things, and but the ending was just not good. So I'm still gonna give it 4 stars. Okay, did I miss anyone's comment? I'm just gonna do a quick check before we... Oh, Kim, you're terrible with homework. No, you'll be fine. There's probably so much content on YouTube and so many like, maybe your classmates will like want to practice with you, and you guys, even if you can't do it in person, you could meet over Zoom or FaceTime them or something, or find other people who are also learning Korean. I would definitely follow some, social media accounts, because that'll just kind of keep you engaged outside the classroom. How long is your Korean class? Like, how many weeks does it go for? That's also a different factor. And I'm only asking these questions because I do have a degree in foreign languages and I did study philology and pedagogy for foreign languages. So, like, I'm just curious because um, I just had to learn all about that stuff. American Gods. I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah, when it's a crappy ending, it's kind of just like I actually finished reading this because I just wanted to be done with it. I got to the last 20 pages and then I moved, and I just waited a couple nights before I picked it up because I kind of was like, I don't think the ending's gonna be what I want it to be, but I should just finish the book because I can't move on to a new book until I finish this one. And I just was like, okay, let's just hurry up and finish it. And and I'm glad that I just hurried up and finished it, and I didn't savor it anymore because it wasn't that great of an ending. 4 months. Oh, that's great. Okay. And is it one night a week or is it 2 nights a week? How is it set up? And I wonder what kind of textbook you're using. My other advice is don't always compare it to English. I think that's the number one pitfall when people learn a foreign language, is that when they're learning about the structure, the grammar, the syntax, whatever, they're like, oh, because in English we say it this way. Like, okay, that's great, but the more you compare it to English, the less of an open perspective you're going to have to receive like the new information, if that makes sense. 2 nights for 2 hours. Ooh, that's good though. That's really good because you're gonna get a lot of exposure. And I always say like learning a language is a skill that is always necessary. Like no matter what you do in life, if you can speak another language, that's awesome. Yeah, they haven't posted the books because it starts in August. Also, if the books are super expensive, I use Abe Books for a lot of my textbooks, and I'll write it down. Um, abebooks.com is I think what it's called, and I think they're probably owned by Amazon now, but I used them back in the day when I went to foreign language school, because usually you can get the books for the fraction of the price, and while they may be used, they're absolutely fine. And you can also choose from which store you're buying them from. So if it's they say shipped from blah 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 Michigan, like it's a local store to you or whatever, and then you can choose to order from that vendor, knowing that it probably gets there fast, if that makes sense. Oh hey Cheryl, happy Friday! Yeah, I'm doing a happy hour live today because I need to go either to Target or Walmart tonight, and I knew when I logged off from work, if I went to Target or Walmart to get some of the more stuff I need and blah blah blah, and then I come home, and if I sit down to go live or want to do anything, I'm just gonna like instantly be tired at that point. So I think I'll do it backwards. I would do an earlier live tonight just to get set up in the new place and get used to it. And then in the future I'll still do lives probably a little bit later, but I felt like I needed to just do a live today. What are you up to this weekend, Shirley? Are you doing anything fun? Kim is starting a Korean class in this August, and we were just talking about buying textbooks and stuff, and how exciting it is to take a language class. Oh, Katie, I talked about you earlier on the live, so if you watch the replay, I was referencing your traveler's notebook spread that you did for your trip to Kentucky, because we were talking about different methods of Katrina just took a road trip to Mexico, or not Mexico, New Mexico. And we were talking about like, do you journal along the way? Do you save stuff and put in your notebook later? Do you pre-decorate? Kind of just that whole discussion. And then I was talking about the one you did about Kentucky. And if you hear a dog barking, it's the people above me that have a small dog that barks a lot. I do not have a dog at my new place. Oh, you used to live in New Mexico? Katrina said that the weather was what did she say? I forget the exact words. Chef's kiss? Or maybe spot on. I'm sorry if I don't remember. And I was just talking about the book I finished reading. We gave it 4 stars. We did a little bit of drawing. And we talked about if you use an Avec for anything, June is coming to an end, so make sure you put your July start date in your, whether it's a Traveler's Notebook or your Hobonichi or whatever. The dog is loud, isn't it? I'm an advocate of learning a new language all the time. You don't need to feel like you have to tell anyone why you're doing it. When people say, "Oh, what are you learning that for?" you do not need to respond to them. It is always a good skill both for your brain and just for cross-cultural reference, for everything. So you go for it. Yeah, Cheryl, so the dog is above me, and the first few days I lived here, I never heard the dog, and suddenly now the dog has been barking all the time. And it was barking at like 6 in the morning yesterday or the day before. So that's not really fun, but now I won't feel bad when I practice keyboard or be really loud because they're loud. So So Katie says it was very nice weather overall, but we were constantly hoping for rain. It gets very dry. Oh yeah, I was in New Mexico. First, I thought I was thinking about Kentucky. I was like, oh, it's dry in Kentucky. And I have birds on a bird feeder, which is kind of nice to hear that when the dog isn't barking, of course. And when you're out back, you can kind of hear the highway is like on the other side of the woods back there. So you do hear like the noise from the highway, but it doesn't bother me. So that's my plan, is to unpack my traveler's notebook, put together my traveler's notebook stuff for my 6 weeks of being gone. I need to record an unboxing video that I'm really excited about that I will try to post by the end of the weekend. There is a fountain pen in it, so for anyone who is a fountain pen person here, I'm finally trying a fountain pen you all have recommended more than once, so I'm excited for that, and it was like my graduation present to myself. And I need to go to the clinic tomorrow because I had to have a tuberculosis test yesterday for my new job, and I have to make sure that I don't have tuberculosis. Because I lived in a high risk country, which is why I was required to have the test. If I didn't live in a high risk country, I would have not needed to have the test. So it's just one thing after another. And then I'm going to continue to unpack and work on getting settled before I drive up to DC on Sunday night. So I don't know if next week I'm going to be live. Next Friday, I don't know if I will be, because next Friday I'm going to be staying either at a friend's house or at my parents' house. I might, but I'm still going to bring my equipment to see if I could set up a live with the tripod and all that, but we'll see how things go. But be on the lookout for my next video for sure. Yeah, the TB test. I was like, oh, I have to go for a TB test, and I had to get another round of vaccines, and I had to go in person yesterday to do a bunch of HR paperwork, and I dropped my new Zojirushi water bottle that I loved on a brick walkway, and it broke. So then there was water leaking out of my backpack. So it's been a journey, that's for sure. And if anyone wants to hear the moving story about what happened, I think probably 10 or 15 minutes into this live stream is when I talked about it. The whole fiasco and how I have to not sue, but write some scathing letters and follow up and all that kind of stuff. Oh, Katrina's gonna go make dinner. Yes, I hope you have a good weekend, Katrina. I gotta figure out dinner too. That sounds good. Yeah, honestly, Katie, I'm just gonna order another water bottle because I love it so much because it's got like the handle and it's insulated. It doesn't get condensation, and I'm gonna have it shipped to my parents' house. That way, when I go up there, um, when I go to visit, I can have a new water bottle. Yes, honestly, Kim, I think what I might do is I'm either gonna post a post of what my travel setup looks like. I might record a quick video. I don't know if I should make a short video. Has anyone? I don't know how all the shorts work on YouTube. How you make like a quick video. Maybe I could try it out that way. But I really need to. Part of my goal too about moving here and a whole change of lifestyle, all that stuff, is to definitely work on YouTube stuff, learning better editing, all those different things that I have on my list of things I want to try. I want to work on. But okay, now that Katrina's talking about dinner, I have to think about what I'm gonna do before I run to Target or Walmart. Thank you all for joining me on this. What's the word I want to say? Not inaugural live at my new apartment. I think the setup works well in terms of it's not shaking because I have the tripod on a different desk, and I still have to figure out some of the lighting and all that kind of stuff. But everyone do something fun this weekend, and I will see you next time.